Für die Raumstation. 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Today with KAI LIEBERT. Hi, man with a wizarded coat. When you wear it, it is a guarantee of free-spirited keyboard music play. Tell the audience, why this coat? Do you slip into a special person in this moment?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Friendolorians. Hi, friends. Yes, thank you for the invitation, Melanie. It's a great pleasure for me to talk with you about my music, about my darkest history, my deepest secrets, and everything else. I think it's not a special person. You know, there's a special story behind this coat. It's original coat from Kazakhstan. And the story behind it is my father, who sold home breweries all over the world. And once upon a time, he was in Kazakhstan, and he got this very special coat from the chief of this village where he was. And the special coat then, he just gave it to me. I did not know what to do with it. And then it was some years ago, I tried to make some kind of a Rick Wakeman fake music thing. And as you know, Rick Wakeman is quite a nice, good keyboard player and much better than I am, of course. But anyhow, I tried and I thought to myself, what can I do to make it very special and giving some sense of humor that the people don't take it too serious what I did. And then, for any reason, I spotted this coat that was there in my room, in my little studio. And I thought, yes, I take it. I take this coat and I would say, okay, I don't play as good as Rick Wakeman. On the other side, I have the much cooler coat or cape than he ever had. So, and this is the story why I wear this coat. But it's also, as some kind of a trademark, I use it only when I make electronic music live in one take with a video. And that's also a signature for a special kind of music I do.
For me, it is anyway a special person, even if only a coat. Tell me, where does she or he come from, this person? Is it female or male or both? Or maybe an alien?
Yep, an alien. Yes, I think it's an alien because no normal man or woman on Earth could do stuff like this one. So I'm pretty sure, yes, it's an alien. Whether it's male or female, don't know. I think this doesn't matter nowadays. So it's just here to make music.
I know there is another person in you, of course. What is this person like? A father and worker and musician? How does your daily life look like?
Yes, I'm a father, I'm a worker, and at least partly a musician. And how my daily life look? It's an interesting question because recently I changed my life completely because I quit the company where I worked for 28 years. So looking back, what happened when I was in this company was quite easy. I worked from morning till in the evening. Yeah? But nowadays, my way, I'm just evaluating or exploring how my life will look like in the future. So it's just a few days. I'm now off the company. And I still do a lot of work with other projects, with other companies and other people. And I also play a little bit more music. But currently, indeed, it's a very interesting phase I'm in that I just don't know how my daily life would look like in a few days.
So we hope it will be a lot of more music. Let's see. Tell me now, to come to your music. If you play one of your, may I say, productions, can you repeat that same, or is it always a one-time moment?
It depends, because, you know, I play different ways of productions, or do different ways of productions. One thing is those with the code. With the code, these are really improvisations. Of course, they have some kind of a scheme, and they have I know what to do, and I have a story in my head. But then I play live, and I would say at least 30% is really improvised just while I'm doing the stuff. That's also the reason why I need a lot of takes to do so. And with the other productions, there are those I do with a computer, with the colleagues all over the world, with Kjell Johansson, with John Wigner, with Danny Roth, with Saguba, and all these very nice people all over the world. And it's just normal computer productions, and they're just, I do it, and if they're finalized, they are there, and I don't play it anymore because you just exist on these computers or on MP3 or in Vandalism or wherever. The other stuff is when I play on the piano. Those are mostly really fully improvised. There I just go to my piano, just sit on the piano and just play. And of course, these things can't be repeated. It's just the music of the moment. And then the other one I play in two bands. And one is more an acoustic band and the other one is a heavy metal band. And of course, these type of music is rather formalized and can be repeated as often I want.
To let us now listen to first music, cause we are very curious. Which one of your latest recordings you liked most, and can you explain what it is about?
One of my last songs I produced was Speeches. This was, I think, 1.5 years ago. And in this song, I incorporated speeches of politicians all over the world. And there was 3 sections. The first one was directly after Second World War, with people like Martin Luther King or Charles de Gaulle, and up to Ronald Reagan. And then the second part is nowadays with people like Donald Trump and these German ultra-right guys, Alexander Gauland and so on. And the third part then does a reflection on how speech can influence people. And I made a reference to the Hitler regime, to the Nazi regime, and had done speeches of those times. And at the end, there's a famous speech of Charlie Chaplin of the movie The Great Dictator. And for me, it's so interesting and really, emotionally, important for me, because I think that language is the source also of behavior in societies. And if you follow what's going on currently all over the world, but especially also in America, how language currently is really used to influence people, to split a whole nation, to lie and fake news and destroy democracy. This really is a topic that really makes me angry. So I think this one is the most important song for me I did in the last years.
I agree fully with you, Kai. I once made a class, non-violent communication, and at school I had a lot of training in manipulation of speeches, so I know what you're talking about. Let us now hear your first music.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day
nur die Flamme in ihren Augen zu beobachten, die Kraft ihrer Kundgebungen zu hören und bei einem jeden von ihnen die Leidenschaftlichkeit und in ihrer Gruppe den gesamten Umsprung mitzuerleben, überzeugt zu sein, dass diese Begeisterung sie zu den Meistern des Lebens und der Zukunft auserkoren hat. Ich beglückwünsche Sie ferner, junge Deutsche zu sein.
Écrivait votre Tuchmeier, war es gestern unsere Pflicht, Feinde zu sein, ist es heute unser Recht, Brüder zu werden.
Citizens of Berlin, and therefore, as a free man, I take pride in the words, Ich bin ein Berliner.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Build that wall, build that wall, build that wall, build that wall, build that wall, build that wall, build that wall, build that wall. So, we're gonna build it. Who's gonna pay for the wall? 100%. By the way.
Çünkü asıl olan milletin gönlüne girip giremediğimizdir. Köşe yazarı yazmış yazmış. Ne yazarsan yaz, hiç önemli yok. Hiç önemli yok. İngiliz şöyle yazmış, Alman böyle yazmış, Amerikalı şöyle yazmış. Ne yazarsanız yazın. Halk ne diyor? Halk ne diyor? Asıl olan budur.
Wir werden sie jagen. Wir werden Führer, am Saarland der Heimat, hinter der kämpfenden Birne.
Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
Tell us now about your bands. What kind of bands you had, and now we know already it's a heavy metal, but tell us more what you did in your life.
I played in a lot of bands, of course, over my lifetime, and started at the age of 16 with a prog rock, Emerson, Lake and Palmer oriented band, but those times I played the drums. And later I switched to the keyboards because I played all the piano and played in all types of bands you can imagine. It was a jazz band. It was these 80 years groove bands. I played then in a hard rock band, later in a speed metal band, then a lot of cover bands as well. And nowadays, I mentioned it already, I play in an acoustic band doing covers of acoustic songs, and second one is a heavy metal band with my mates from the late 80s. It really makes a lot of fun during the two completely different styles of music. And of course, I play by my own at the piano.
Did you play mainly in Munich area where you live? Or where do you play live? And tell us as well, where did you come from in Germany?
The last years, indeed, I played mainly in the Munich area. Currently, of course, we can't play because due to the corona situation, it's not possible to make concerts or gigs anywhere. And yes, I had a lot of bands because I lived in Ulm. I was born in Ulm, and I moved to Heidelberg, where I studied at university. Then my first job was in Constance, Lake of Constance, and I moved to Munich. And of all these cities, I had bands. But normally I played there in the location where I was. The exception was when I played with my speed metal band. There we really made tours all over Europe. It was mainly German, but also all over Europe. This was a quite amazing time, but it's long time ago. And now with my speed metal and my heavy metal band, I play currently with. We also play in other cities, normally about in South Germany.
Curious if we maybe hear something here in that interview of the speed metal. If not, maybe we have to do another interview, I feel. When you started music, Kai, was already piano. I heard drums as well. So I asked myself, what had been your idols? And is there any recording of your first song you created? And can you show us this and explain what it is about?
I started playing the piano when I was 6 or so. And I was not very enthusiastic in playing classical stuff. Later then I switched to drums and played for many years the drums in several bands. My idol there was, of course, Carl Palmer from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. But I think it was a little far away from my capabilities. And but I always was interested in electronic music. So with the old Moog synthesizers, for instance, I couldn't afford this in those times, but I really was interested in all electronic stuff in music. And then in the mid '80s, I decided sell my drums and acquired an DX7, Yamaha DX7, my first synthesizer, and tried to go into the synthesizers again. And I think it was a very good decision because as a drummer, often you have some problems and really influence what the band does because you're not fully knowledge about harmonies and melodies and stuff like this one. So I felt more comfortable in playing the keyboards and having access to the song, more access to the song creation process. My idols is pretty clear. I'm a child of the 70s, so it's Keith Emerson, it's Rick Wakeman, and of course it's Tony Banks from Genesis, who I really admire. He's a fantastic underrated keyboard player. Of the current keyboard players, I'm of course with Jordan Rudess from Dream Theater. A little bit maybe not too technical, and then I'm a huge fan of Neil Morse, the former keyboard player of Spock Spirit and Transatlantic, and now doing his own stuff. I really admire Neil Morse. And yes, there is a recording of the first gig I ever played, and I played in those times the drums, and I was nervous like hell. The music we played was instrumental. It was, some kind of progressive. It was some kind of complicated, and we gave those songs strange names like Yogurt or Song Number 1 or 2 or so. There's a recording, and but I think you don't have to play the whole song. Some seconds is enough.
Okay. Oh, I love this kind of stuff, to show what one has done in the past. Mainly you do instrumentals, Kai. Especially the Wizard Master is doing some cool music, as you said by yourself, for nerds. Tell us about your equipment. Surely some nerds are online here, and we would love to learn about your stuff.
Yeah, equipment. That's a long story, of course. First of all, I play a KAI grand piano. That is my one and only. Whenever I would go to an island and you ask me just to take one instrument with me, of course it would be my grand piano, because it's everything what I need to make music. From the electronic stuff, there are different ways of doing music, and there are different parts or elements of equipment. When I play live, I play my Yamaha Modex 8080 with 88 keys, and the Raumstation 3 with a 73 waterfall keyboard. And that's very excellent combination. You have this very flexible Yamaha synth, and you have this Raumstation with fantastic sounds, and you have very rapid access to whatever you need, to a piano, to organ, and to synthesizer. So that is my live stuff. And the other hand, both of the keyboards are rather lightweight, so you don't have to need people to help me and taking the stuff on stage.
No
so this one. And then when I play my electronic music, I use an Deptford modular system with many modules, from AJH, for instance, or from Roland, or from Mutable Instruments, and from Deptford, of course. I have a Coma sequencer. I have a Roland TR8 drum machine. I have beautiful DRP A4 synthesizer, fantastic Italian product. I have my old Roland keyboards, a D50 and a JD800. I have my old live keyboard. It was a called Triton LE, and have stuff all around this. Yeah. Recently acquired from Maturia, the Keystep Pro, and yes, a lot of stuff there. Makes fun. And for my computer productions, I have a normal PC, and I have Cubase, and I have a lot of VSTs. And my most favorite one is the Omnisphere VST, and some of Arturia stuff, but the Omnisphere is really a very cool one. And I have a very nice organ VST. It's VV3. It's also a very nice thing. So, but yes, of course currently I prefer to play hardware stuff. But anyhow, if I make computer productions with friends all over the world, of course the main preference is, of course, use the internal VST plugins for computers.
My head swirls, I must say. Where do you live, Kai? You must have no space in your house. We would like to learn what inspires you in doing songs. Is it more beautiful, dark things, like walk through foggy forests, or maybe a group of children cheering up by playing?
Inspiration, I can't really capture this one. There are two different ways. Sometimes I just have just an idea. I don't know where it does come from. Yeah, sometimes it's just I read something, often space things. Maybe remember I made a song about gravitational waves, or about the Van Allen belt, and just I read things in the newspapers or in the internet about what happened currently in science, and I take this one interesting. On the other hand, I walk through nature. There's one piece I made around a dark lake where I was with my family, and I just saw this dark lake, and it just made something for me. And then I was, for instance, in Beijing in China, and also this large and huge city with a lot of energy in it, and there's also made me to create some music, and sometimes also really it's just work, and I have an idea, then I try to work it out step by step, and write it down as far as possible, or record it, and that is what having inspiration. But inspiration for me, it just it pops up, and then sometimes I have the energy to follow up this idea and make a piece of music out of it, and sometimes just it disappears.
Kai, imagine you would be on a small boat on the stormy sea, and a whale would be near and floats aside, looking at you with a warning gaze. Can you play us what will be that in music for some small time, as an impro? tell us a bit about your musical career? What is and was important to you?
So my musical career started in Ulm, where I was born, and I played in several bands there, and I really wanted to become a musician in those times. A journalist or a musician, this was quite clear for me. And I played in a band which was quite nice, and we called it Rock and Groove, and we also was quite successful in a Yamaha competition. And unfortunately, we played a gig with within the round of the last 16 bands, and we didn't make it, unfortunately, because we made a huge mistake in my eyes. But it's always easy to do after the event, and in selecting of the songs, we selected just the wrong songs. Yeah, and then I had a heavy metal band, a hard rock band. I played, and we made one record. I was very proud, and I think it was good musical stuff here, but it was a really an ugly production. And we had, we signed an ugly contract as well. So, that didn't work out as well. And then I played, with the Crumbing Rose. It was a speed metal band. It was very famous, those times in Germany. And I played there as a keyboard, a live keyboarder. Though, of course, in those times, speed metal band didn't want to have keyboarders in their lineup. But I played all the live, stuff, and also played the pre-productions. This was quite really interesting. It was currently the best time, or the highest point of my career, when we played tours with Saxon, with Studio, and toured all over the world. And they had was in the German charts, came up to 23 German charts, number 1 in the heavy metal charts in Japan. It's really successful, and really I smelled a little bit what it means to be a professional musician. But I also found out that there are so many idiots there in this business, especially in the bureaucratism in the companies, in the record companies. We had a major deal there, and decided then myself, I don't want to give my life into the hands of those idiots, and then decided to quit with the stuff. I made some productions and tried to make some in the back end of music productions, but then decided to become just a normal guy who plays a bit of music and just go for a normal job.
Sometimes it's good to stay with a hobby. If you would be allowed to play one of your songs with your most favorite musicians, which song would it be? And why? And can you let us hear this?
There's one song which really touches my heart, and I played this with my musical brother John Wegner from Australia, and also my daughter Pauline performed in it. But it was not the reason why I like this song so much. It's about refugees, and that we still have a huge issue with refugees and how we treat them. And what are the reasons why they have to leave their country, their home country. They just don't want it. And we made a song which was called Throw Me Away. It's a very calm song, but for me, the best song I ever did. And when you ask me, who would I invite to join this song, I would love that Peter Gabriel would be the singer of the song. John Wegner did a really brilliant job in singing, but I think his voice is a little bit similar to Peter's voice, but if I could imagine Peter Gabriel singing this song with his emotion, I think this would be incredible.
throw me away. You have endless problems, makings of your own. Like when it's best to charge your phone, which wine with veal, which stocks to deal, which ring will suit this precious stone. We are invisible, yet they're on every dusty street. We are stones to tread on beneath your feet. You stare directly at our plight, but your eyes have no sight. A third world problem not worth a tweet. Throw me into the desert. Throw me into the sea. Throw me behind sterile fences. Throw me away. Away, away, away. Away, away, away. I'll throw me away. Desperately flee certain genocide, bobbing at the mercy of the treacherous tide. Across the sea we skulk on untrustworthy hulks. We are mere best to brush aside. Throw me into the desert. Throw me into the sea. Throw me behind sterile fences. Throw me away. Away, away, away. Away, away, away. I'll throw me away. From recklessly clawing at barbed prison wire for a single chance to finally enhance our one and only true desire. Throw me into the desert, throw me into the sea, throw me behind sterile fences, throw me away, away, away, away, away, away, away. I'll throw me away. Throw me into the deserts, throw me into the sea, throw me behind sterile fences, throw me into the desert, throw me into the sea, throw me behind sterile fences, throw me. Well, throw me, they'll throw me, well, throw me.
A song to be admired, Kai. Really cool. Staying with emotions. We would like to know, what is your favorite love song you recorded and maybe played with any band or mates?
My favorite love song. That's pretty easy. Because I just wrote one. Yes. My wife also claimed I'm not very romantic. So it's just one love song I ever made in my life. And so, of course, this is my favorite song. But there's a cool story behind it because I still remember it. I was on a business trip and I was in a hotel, and maybe you know those times in between sleep and if you wake up here. Yeah? And I dreamed about a story that I walk with a guitar in my hand through Copenhagen. And it's so interesting because, and it was singing, of course, yeah. And, you know, I can't play guitar, I can't sing. I was never in Copenhagen. But for every reason, this came in my mind. And then the main hook line was in my mind as well. And yes, and so I wrote it down, and I had fortunately this pencil next to my bed, and I just wrote it down, the main text, lyric things, and the main hook line, the musical idea. And later I then put it on my piano and played it further and further. Then of course I had a band. And this recording, what you hear now, is also with a band. This was my band Gambit here from Munich, and we played this song. And I think it's a beautiful song, and of course it's dedicated to my beloved wife. Iggy is her name.
To Copenhagen with a guitar in my hand. I see many friendly faces, everybody seems to be my friend. I've got no destination, but I know where I belong. Every thought is like a small step towards my home. This is a love song, and you'll ever soul and what I am. The huge and silent places I walk and sing my song, floating on soft water, and I know our love is strong. I've got no destination, but I know where I belong. Yeah, and every thought is like a small step towards my home. This is a love song, and you'll ever touch my heart, and you'll ever touch my soul and what I am. This is a love song, and you'll ever touch my heart, and you'll ever touch my soul and what I am. Ooh, I'm here for you. A house appears in the distance, through the dusky sky I can see you. I climb up the stairways, your presence makes me feel so high, so near, so close to you.
This is for melting, Kai. We heard a lot of dance music now from your side. We want to know if you have as well just some piano piece. Can you play something for us?
Piano piece. There are a lot of piano pieces I played. And they all have different styles, from Emerson, like full energy, until to more delicate romantic stuff. But I all play these with my grand piano, and it's a KAI piano. I wouldn't say it's the best piano that ever been built, but it's my grand piano. And I got this in the age of 12 or so. My parents bought this in those time, and I was so happy with it, and it's a rock solid sound. You can't compare it with a Steinway or with a Beckstein or with a big Yamaha one. It's a rather small one, but it's my piano, and yeah, by good chance, I managed to have this piano now here in my house, and I still love it, and yeah, that is my grand piano, and the piece. Yeah, let's have a listen to maybe two different things. It's one of the more energy-driven things, and the other one is a delicate thing, what I did, and it's a song about springtime.
Who cannot be fan of this piece of music? Tell me. You traveled a lot. What was your most exciting music experience abroad and where? How did that influence you?
Yes, there was a indeed interesting music experience I made, and it was in China. And we've been invited to some kind of Beijing opera, the Chinese opera. And I did not really know what would happen. And we sat there, and it was rather formal, the whole thing. And then a lady entered the room in small steps. And the first words, when I started to sing, she said, "Meow." And this was really hard for me because I really thought I would just rolling on the floor and laughing because it was really, really extreme culture experience what I made. It took some time, and then I tried to go more into this music. It really was a strange experience. And what brought it to me is two things. First of all, it's after although later I had a chat with the people or doing the stuff, and I learned more about this formal Chinese music. And for me, the experience was first of all to really be open. And if there's new things, you just completely new for you, and you just know how to categorize it or what to do with it. Be open and just listen to it, and just let the music speak, and don't make your first of categorization. It's good or it's bad or whatever. So that was really interesting. And also this when this time in China was is this energy what this country produces if you are there, with all the pros and the cons. Of course, we know that China is a very special country in many, many aspects. But anyhow, the energy of the country definitely is fascinating. And so this all was then captured in one song I made.
This remembers me at the book Metaphysik der Röhren, it's called. And there is the father a Nö singer in Japan. And it happens that the family has to listen to it. And I think there happens the same thing you told us right now. As we are running out of time in our interview, Kai, we know you did as well some cool online collaborations with people all over the world. To round up the picture about your music, would you please introduce us a collabo you think was really stunning result made over internet exchange?
Yes. I did a lot of online collaborations, and I love all of them, because that is the cool thing with these internet collaborations. You can do stuff, whatever you thought is, when it comes in your mind, just do it. And you find a lot of musicians who really full energy and full expertise do it. You don't need a band to do so. You don't need to convince anybody in the band, hey, let's do this one on this way. You just do it, and you ask people, hey, do you like to join me here? And then you get a fantastic music expertise from the internet, or from this people, from Vandalism or other networks. And of course, there's my favorite guy is John Wegner. I did a lot of songs with John from Australia, but I also did some songs with Sagoba from US. I did 2 songs or 3 songs with Shell Johansson from Sweden. I did some song with Danny Roth from USA, with Breeze from USA, with H.G. Schwitz, who sadly passed away last year. I did from Germany. I did a collaboration. So many collaborations, and maybe we take the one with Shell and Danny and Sam Sagoba, or Dan, his original name. And this was really interesting because I learned a lot, because Danny as well as Shell and Sam or Dan are fantastic musicians, and also a very experienced with doing musical productions. And this was really a cool thing for me. It took a lot of time, a lot of effort, but it really brought me to another level. That's the reason why I think that one is a song which maybe we can play here, and you will hear it's really a cool one.
on Fanda, so I have to go back and comment a good comment. For the moment, is there any new project running we could be curious about?
Yes, there will be a project of music coming up, but I don't know when. Currently, I play with my 2 bands, and it also takes a little bit of time. But definitely, I told you before that I changed my life situation, and I hope that I got more time, and also, let me say, more. That I get more creativity, because I was really captured from my job. And my whole mind was full of work. And I think that in the near future, there will be much more space in my mind for music. So there will be new music. I don't know what will show up. I have some kind of idea about a water project. It will be mainly electronic stuff with some kinds of the code of Kazakhstan. But the idea is currently doing several pieces here from the beginning of a small river down to the open sea with different elements, and that is currently in my mind. But it's a lot of work, and it will definitely take some time. But I think that as it looks now currently, that's my next big project.
We stay curious. Now, thank you, dear Kai. We have to say goodbye. And maybe we are happy to do another interview in whatever future. Have a good time and do music.
Yeah, well, we are already at the end. It was really a great pleasure to talk with you. It was very interesting questions, and I hope my answers were interesting as well. So, yeah, I hope to see you soon, everybody, and maybe even create some music together. And I wish you all the best and good luck, and bye-bye.
My name is Melanie Collie.
Für die Raumstation.
Yeah.